Fearsome Godzilla has evolved. Fearsome Godzilla has evolved.
Hello everybody, welcome to our favorite time of the month, where everyone watches the tier list and then shits on me relentlessly in the Discord. I am your host, Melee, and we are getting into it, of course. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting into it. I got my ice cream in the freezer, I had my little dinner, waiting for all this. I got my little headband on, Godzilla battle line, crazy. Bro, I'm throwing that shit back for you, chef. I got my hairs all fucked up. Just like stuff this in here, bro. Boom. Nope. Doesn't look good, huh? Fuck it. Look like we got electrocuted. This is just so much worse. Okay. It's gonna have to do. Do you think Shimo is good? I think Shimo is incredible. I love Shimo. And we'll talk about it. Shimo's at the end, though. Best for last, I say. Okay. So, we will get into... Our thing is kind of overlapping the tier list, though. It usually is, isn't it? Can we maybe do like this, if you don't mind some of the guys getting cut off? I guess we'll just keep it like that. Probably is just for the better. How do you get Shimo for free? I don't believe in this moment you can get Shimo for free. Alright, you guys. Welcome. We are here to do a tier list. We're going to just get it started. And I hope you guys enjoy it. I know the tier lists are a little bit meh, but I love them. You guys seem to love them. Let's get into it. So, Airbase, of course, follows a time-honored tradition of being the best unit in the game. Of course, this unit is immaculate in every sense of the word. I don't think I've ever had a battle where I have Airbase and I lost. I think this is just a phenomenal unit, a phenomenal character. Airbase, if you're not using Airbase, you're doing it wrong. We're starting off strong, and I'm just kidding. I don't want all the new people here to get it in their head that this is good. This is trash. This is garbage. Absolute deadbeat unit. Fucking trash. Is there a counter for Godzilla Evolved? There is. I have a video planned where we're going to go over counters for the newer units. So I will answer that in that other video. Hey, who do you think is the best design for the 4 new characters? I don't know. We'll talk about them when we get to the next 4 characters. I did see there's 2 G-Mets in the event store. I think I mentioned it in a video. No, I didn't. I did mention it in a video, but it's the video for tomorrow. You haven't seen it yet. So Airbase is trash. Airbase is done. Now, Angiras has been in the B tier for a really long time. Angiras was a previous... I believe he might have been an S tier character. We had him at one point. He has moved down into the A tier, and now he's in the B tier. He's been in the B tier for a few seasons, and I think he's going to stay that way. And I think the Anguinus, I think he's going to just get pushed down. We have him at the pretty high part of the B tier. But realistically, Shimo is a very similar character to Angiras, except better in every capacity. Her inclusion in the game makes Angiras a lesser unit, and Skar King as well's inclusion in the game in general makes Angiras just a lesser unit in general. So Angiras is going to still remain in the B tier, but he's going to get a lot lower, I think. I also think I'm going to turn this light off. I want to get more of the streamer LED lights, the E-boy lights, but I haven't found a pair that I like on Amazon. Or in person. I haven't found one that I like in person either. Because I want to have them run this shelf right on the back. Haven't found it yet. Okay. Who's next? Batra? Alright. Now, I feel like it's worth skipping ahead just a little bit to talk about Skar King. Skar King, as we will discuss later in this video, has an intrinsic damage boost to characters that are 5 energy cost or lower. Should you pick Batra or Biollante? Wait literally 10 seconds and you'll figure it out. Skar King naturally has an intrinsic damage boost to units that are 5 energy or lower. Batra is 5 energy or lower. A big thing this season is going to be who is 5 energy and lower and can they hold their own in a team fight where Skar King is involved. That is going to just be a really big thing, I think, moving forward. Batra is going to be, I believe, in the A tier, at the bottom of A tier. The only saving grace that Batra has currently in this game is that the damage boost is halfway decent. His damage is okay. He is a 5-cost flyer. He needs to evolve. The metas are shifting away from 5-cost flyers. The meta is shifting away from evolution units outside, you know, Biollantes, Mothra, Imagos, and stuff like that. Batra, Dash said it best in the chat just there. Batra is an OG. He has fallen off. A lot of newer players are going to be like, you know, that's not a huge, you know, this is not a huge big deal. Batra's pretty good. Batra must have been the meta for a year and a half, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. I think we were still using Batra when Kumo Augment was meta in March of 2023. Batra is all right now, but by no means is Batra as bad as some of the characters in the B tier. Batra is definitely shifted out of the meta. Batra's out. Because for the longest time, Batra was our only major damage booster. And if you go back to some of the older videos, I say it, and I say it a lot whenever we see a new unit with a new ability of some kind. I go, this character will be meta for doing what it does until a character that does what it does but better has come out. And I believe that Skar King does what Batra does but exponentially better. There are other characters as well that have similar effects. Batra's moved out, or he's moved out of the S tier, of course, for months and months, but he's going to remain, I think, at the bottom of A tier. I don't think he's super terrible. I think there's use case for him, especially with new players, if this is the only one you have, but not as prominent as he once was. And on top of that, his little buddy right here, where is he, is going to go into the C tier. As far as pre-evolutions go, Batra Larva is alright. That damage boost is nice. The range is pretty decent, but is a little squishy, can be caught off guard. Batra Larva is going to go in the C tier, I think. Before Toe started power creeping, Batra fucking dominated. Yeah. The power creep is pretty much a direct response to Batra. You can pretty much effectively trace back all the current power creeping to Batra, because he was the meta for months and 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 months, years even, and then eventually when people begged enough for it to Toho in their DMs and on Twitter and everything, then we started getting power creep. Speaking of power creep, one character that is routinely not power crept, who is routinely a solid performer, is Batra, or Biollante Flower Beast. They did buff Batra twice, when he definitely needed a nerf. Biollante, little form, B tier. It is technically stronger than this form, but it's not as fast. It doesn't have the AoE that the other one has. It's still good. Still gets an 80% damage boost in water. It's not super useful. Outside of evolving, it's basically a guaranteed evolution. Biollante proper. I don't know any other game where one unit has gone from launch to, like, you know, into just perpetuality, just being in the S+ tier. S to S plus tier. Biollante is phenomenal. I have tons of investment in her. She's level 31 for me. I have gotten so much mileage out of Biollante. And mind you guys, we're talking about characters without the cards and without the leader boosts. Or without being leaders. This is purely based on units. We're going to do a separate leader tier list later this week. Regular Biollante is so good. Biollante has always been good. Even with Skar King on the field right now, and he will grab Biollante, okay? And he will do increased damage to Biollante. It doesn't matter, because he's going to pull her in, and her AoE is a complete 360. If she was in water, she's getting an 80% damage boost. Skar King is going to grab her, pull him in, and guess what? She's hitting Skar King and everyone around for 80% damage boost. Yeah, he might take her down, but she might take down someone with her, like the Chibis. After this season ends and people stop using Skar Kings because they probably didn't invest in him, I mean, he's going to be, regardless, pretty good. Biollante is going to see play. Biollante is always going to see play. Biollante is the definition of an S+ character, tried and true. Their ability is great. Everything about them is great. Their stats are great. It's phenomenal. She just rips through units. As long as I have been playing this game, which is since day one, Biollante has been relatively useful. I think the only time she wasn't was the very first season of the game, and then she got a buff going into the second season, and it's been, you know, written in stone ever since. Guys, okay, I'm gonna pause this for 3 seconds. Stop asking me if a character is good or not. You see the order of characters on the screen? We are going in this order. I'm not going to skip around, and I'm not going to answer your questions about a specific character until we get to the character. That's how we've always done this. That's how we always operate it. I'm not going to bounce around in chat talking about specific characters unless I have an anecdote or something to say about them. Stop asking. I'm not going to answer you. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to curb your expectations. I'm not listening. Except for Cloverfield. I think Cloverfield is meta this season. So, Stealth Bomber. Obviously S+ tier. Fantastic character. Love Stealth Bomber. Love to put him in the fucking dumpster. Easily one of the biggest new player traps in the game is Stealth Bomber. Routinely, I see people coming into my Discord or on Reddit or Facebook, and they go, oh, Stealth Bomber is so good. You gotta level it up to 30. You're gonna get so much use out of it. Stealth Bomber is phenomenal. It's not. It's not. Stealth Bomber is terrible. Stealth Bomber is fucking terrible. It is pay to lose. You summon it for 5 energy. Yeah, you know what? The argument I get all the time online is, oh yeah, it's gonna chunk the shit out of the enemy's health if it gets there. Yeah, so is every other unit in the game is going to show up and is gonna chunk the enemy leader. It's almost like that's how the game is played. Stealth Bomber, yeah, if it gets there, it has to reach there. It has to reach the other side. It has no way to defend itself. You're paying 5 energy for a unit to slowly move across the field to maybe get some damage on. It is not good. It is not good. There's one other character on this list that is in a very similar spot. It's not good. It is not good. Now, this is a character, this next one, that I think has gone up a tier this season. I think this character has gone up a tier. And that is Burning Godzilla. Burning Godzilla was top of the B tier last season. This season, I believe Burning Godzilla is somewhere in the A tier this season. The reason that I think Burning Godzilla is in the A tier this season is because of Skar King. He's going to pull in Burning Godzilla and explode. That's it. Now, Burning Godzilla is not the best character in A tier. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. Okay? Burning Godzilla has one job, and it is to build up his explosion and have Skar King pull him in. He's going to die, and he's going to detonate. Now, the explosion is not super impactful. There is another character on this list, Fourth Angel, we'll talk to later, who does the same thing, but better. But Burning Godzilla, for that reason, and that reason alone, is going from B to A. He's going to stay in the low A, and next season, I think he is going to go down to probably B tier. Unless there's something specific with the explosions that happens next season. He's A tier, he's low A tier, and that is because he's Skar King bait. That's all he's there for. Next season, he'll probably go back down to B, but while everyone is using Skar King and dragging people into their pushes, doesn't hurt to have an explosion. If you don't have 4th Angel, which a lot of people don't because there's a lot of new players after Evangelion stuff left. If you don't have 4th Angel, you can use Burning Godzilla. He fulfills the same thing. He's not as good as 4th Angel. You just need to get him to build up his explosion. And like Weenie says in the chat, Burning Godzilla needs a fat stat boost. He's such a pushover. He's a huge pushover. You just got to have him walk in the water or something and build up his meter, then get pulled in, then explode. He'll do his job. Senator Armstrong, I do not know when the Avas will return, but I hope soon. I am a very big Ava fan as well, so I hope that they return. Desghidorah. I like Desghidorah. I think Desghidorah is a pretty decent enough unit. I think Desghidorah is a solid A tier character. Desghidorah really suffers the most from levels because a lot of players don't have them at a high enough level, and a lot of long-term players don't even have him at 30 because he only comes around once a month for free. Otherwise, he's in offers and you have to buy him. He's always been good. I don't quite think he's S tier. I think this season, especially with, you know, the Godzilla running around and the Skar King and Shimo, I think that Desghidorah is taking a back seat. It is 7 energy, so that is a very expensive commitment to have on your team. And there are currently a lot of other monsters that I think, or not a lot, but there are a few monsters that are in that coveted 6 to 7 energy slot that I think just perform overall better on the team. Could you please also explain how the G upgrade tokens work? Can they be used on collab units? I have a video talking about G materials already. The G upgrade materials can only be used on collab 4-star units that you already own. You cannot use them on like the 4th Angel. The collab units only work, or the G materials only work on 4 stars you own. Desghidorah is alright. I like him a lot. He's going to stay in the top of A, probably. No real thoughts outside of that. I think he's fine. I like him. I think he could be a little bit better. I think he kind of suffers from this meta, but he's pretty good. Now, the Destroyers are, all 3 of them are still pretty good. They are still pretty good. This Destroyer suffers a lot. This Destroyer is definitely suffering a lot this season from, what's his name? Skar King rips up this Destroyer. Godzilla 24 rips up this Destroyer, this little guy. So he is actually going to go down a tier because he is a lot weak. He's a lot weaker than he normally is. Okay? This as well, also, I'm moving him down a tier from A into B. He's great because he flies. He's still a little low. He doesn't have a ton of health. He does evolve fast, which is really good. But a lot of the new units are just going to rip into him. Even units like, I'm trying to think of some newer ones. The Chibis, Destroy a Dab, the 1000-Year Dragon Ghidorah. They're all going to rip into him as well. Now, in S tier, I firmly still believe that this Destroyer is in S tier. I have used this Destroyer a few times this season. I have had this Destroyer used against... Actually, no. You know what? I'm going to take it back. I'm going to walk it back. Let me explain to you why I walk it back. I'm going to put him in A. I'm going to put him in A. I still think he's a phenomenal unit. He has phenomenal damage. He has great range. He's a little expensive, but that's all right. The main reason I'm going to move him into A tier is because when he dies, hear me out, when he dies, he becomes all the little Destroyers. Okay? Now, the Godzilla 24 is going to kill them with his big sweep and immediately charge up to full. Immediately going to charge up to full. leader Godzilla 24, he's gonna use his leader ability on the destroyer aggregates that spawn after this one dies, and immediately gain all of his energy back. He's gonna dump his units, hit them with that, boom, full energy bar. Each time a Godzilla 24 kills a character, when he's a unit, his bar gets like, what, 25% more full or something like that. And then each time the leader one kills a unit, it is 2 energy back. He's giving them 5 or 6 targets to hit. So actually, this is the season I'm moving him out of S tier, particularly because there's so many Godzilla 2024s running around. They feed off of weaker monsters. They will just eat them alive and gain more power like they do in the movie. Out of S tier, I think. I think if he didn't spawn in those little guys, or I mean, sorry, if Godzilla 24 did not gain power or energy off of kills, Destroyer would be S tier. Dino in chat says yes, he would be S tier next season, providing that there's not another character that's as good as Godzilla 24 that does something similar. So for this season, he's going to be in the top of A because he's just feeding your enemies Godzillas, and that is not something you want. That is definitely not. Speaking of feeding the enemy Godzillas, the what's their name? The Destroyer larva also are down here. You know what? I'm actually going to move the Stealth Bomber above these units because these units are a little bit weaker. So they're going to feed those Godzillas even more. Melee, do you think next season will be GMK, Mothra, and Baragon because the GMK teased the anniversary? Yeah, I do. I think so. They teased Baragon in that one stream where they like put the little, they did this with their hands on their heads, so that seems like Baragon to me. And then the tease that they did with the whatever it's called, the gift, it seems to me like it's probably going to be Baragon at least. Dimension Tide is S+ tier. That's not even an argument. Dimension Tide is so good. It is one of the only things in the game that allows you any kind of board manipulation. Board manipulation is so strong. Being able to move characters where you want them to be is phenomenal. You can get a cheeky hit on your opponent. Phenomenal. This is an amazing ability. Being able to drag your enemies into your big AoEs and stuff like that. That's really nice. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on this, but it is good. It is a good card. Dorats as well this season are in D. They normally hang out in the C tier, but I'll put them above Stealth Bomber. But the Godzillas are just eating them alive. The new Godzilla's just eating them alive. Hey, do you think the Muda should be in the game? Yes, I think all the Godzilla monsters should be in the game. The good thing about Dimension Tide, Gerard, is you don't need Dimension Tide to be a high level. It performs exactly what it needs to do at level 1. You never have to level up Dimension Tide unless you just want extra damage. It pulls characters no matter what. It could be level 1 on your team, and you could be at rank 66 plus. It doesn't matter. It just matters on how much damage you want it to do. That's what makes it so good as well. A lot of the S plus characters and units in S are characters that will work really well, usually no matter what level that you have them in. Speaking of what works well, no matter what level you have it in, but I think it is actual garbage, is the, what's it called? The energy base. I am not particularly a huge fan of the energy base. A lot of people a lot of people are big fans of the energy base because they like to run high-powered decks. However, if you are faster than them, if your team composition is just a little bit faster, you're just going to outpace it. You're going to get hit with the trains. It used to be when the game first started, if you had the energy base, you would probably, no, I don't want to say win the match, but you had a lot stronger chance of winning. If you had the energy base, you don't really need it anymore. There's just a lot of good characters that can hold their own for a lot longer. There's a lot faster pushes you can do. The energy base is alright. Energy base is train bomb value for real, yeah. I mean, the train bomb pretty much makes it obsolete. The Kiryus, the Mogeras. I put it in B tier because it's a win more card. It's not like atrocious. I'm not putting it in C tier. I'm not putting it in D tier. It's definitely not A. It's just like a win more if you have it in your deck. You know, you're probably going to benefit from it unless your opponent starts capitalizing on it. And then you're going to just be down a slot on your team. So that's just what it is. The Fire Rodan squad dropped off the face of the planet. Fire Rodan is easily a C tier character, the little one. He does a speed boost and not much else for the team, and right now, especially in the meta, speed boost normally isn't what you want with your team. There's a lot of slower units right now, so you really want to try to build a push up and, you know, keep your units on your side of the field until you start making a big swing. And if you start pushing onto their side, you're just giving them home field advantage. Not super great. Now, the other Fire Rodan is, I still think, pretty decent. He's in the A tier. He doesn't really provide a ton for your team other than he's there to die and heal. He can heal. Pretty fire. These two are probably in roughly the same spot. They are, as Dash says in the chat, like the original like duo. I believe they used to be called the Lovebirds. That was a term or phrase, I guess, that was coined by the communities, the Lovebirds, because you just paired them together, boost one and speed the other, and it was kind of crazy, but really has fallen off. They're going to be towards the, I think, bottom of A tier for sure. Freezing Sunday is a garbage card as well. Freezing Sunday might actually be worse than the, whatever this is called, is worse than the Swarms, because it might as well do nothing. My suggestion to Toho would be to take Shimu's new freeze ability and put it on the Freezing Sunday. Shimu does everything the Sunday does, but infinitely better. And I think Sunday, it did get a buff a few months ago. It wasn't really substantial. I think it lowered the cost of it. No one uses this, ever. If they gave it Shimu's effect, where it froze characters and then left a field of freeze on the ground, then this would be great. This would be at least a C or B tier unit. It is not. It's bad. Giant Octopus is easily S+ tier, all around banger of a unit. Love Giant Octopus. It's phenomenal. Moving on. I'm just kidding. Giant Octopus in the B tier. We're going to put Giant Octopus. He's probably like low B. Not that he is falling off on because of this season particularly. He's still just like a solid enough unit for his cost. And that's really the only reason he's in B, is because for what he does for his cost, he's pretty good at it. But we can make an argument for him to be like in the C tier. You know what? I'm just put him in the C tier. I don't want him to be... I don't want to be mean to him, but he's probably realistically a C tier unit. He's not quite D. I think he would be at the bottom of C, or at B, and at that point we'll just put him in the C tier. He's either in the middle of B or the in C, but I think Skar King just maybe takes him down a peg this season. Like, Skar King's just gonna gank him with the chain and immediately kill him. But normally, he's pretty good, so I'm gonna keep him in C, like right at the top. If we want to go restructure this later, we can, but I think this is probably a safe spot for him. S tier character inbound, right here, baby. Boom. Gigan 2004 is fucking phenomenal. I love him. I think that you can make an argument for him to be S+ this season. He is just a little counterproductive to Skar King. However, he also is an effective counter to Skar King, and kind of, you know what, he's an effective counter to Godzilla 2004. I'll put him up here. He's awesome. I love Gigan 04. I've been using Gigan 04 for years at this point, and I remember when he dropped and everyone was like, Melee, you're insane for thinking that he's good. He does so little damage. I was like, trust, that stun is so good, and the DPS is phenomenal. He's great. Nee has made a good point. Him being a 4 cost is a really good, really good trait to have. Dino says they run Gigan 04 and Kong together and they fucking run, or they can run into a match and instantly win. Yeah. Now, there are some really nasty plays you can pull off with him. I'm going to move him into the S+ tier this season. He is just so good. On the opposite end of that spectrum, however, is Gigan, what's his name? 72. Now, Gigan 72 suffers from the same problems that the Bomber does, where he just runs into battle with really no plans and no way to defend himself, and he's going to get absolutely lobotomized by everything on the field. That just is how it is. That just is how it is. This Gigan is terrible. I've never really liked this Gigan. I never thought he was good. I think if you did think he was good, maybe you were onto something a long time ago, but it really is bad. Gigan 04, 2004 is a phenomenal piece of unit, and I love him. Gigan 72 is dog shit. Now, our first character on this tier list tonight that had received a buff this season, Godzilla 2021. The Monsterverse Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla got a buff this season. He got 3 buffs this season to be exact. He got an increase to his HP, he got an increase to his attack range, and he got an increase to his search range. And you know what that has done for our Monsterverse Titan himself? He has graduated from the C tier. He was in C tier, he has graduated. Drum roll, please. B tier. Yay, yay. He's still not very good, but he's a little bit better. Everyone is able to get at least, I think, 2 pieces of him for free through the All-Star Battle Store because now they've added 2 pieces for him. He's fine. He is not very good at leading a push. He's good at finishing off leaders specifically. He is good for hitting things like Godzilla Earth. He is good for hitting leaders. He wants to latch on to high health characters that are very slow or are distracted, and he can just run them down. That is his whole gimmick. He has never been particularly good because of his stun. If you stun him, he has to go through the whole animation process again. That needs to be addressed at some point in time. It's never gonna. But if you stun him, he's got to cycle through his like 4-second animation thing again, and that's really the kicker. He would be a really solid unit if he had stun immunity, he would literally be insane. Because then he would just pick a target, latch onto them, and just drill on them until they're dead. He should have stun immunity. He should have stun immunity. That is the one thing I would change. He works incredibly well with Mothra 2019, who grants stun immunity. He has a 3.2 attack speed, I think. So it's like a 4-second to get his thing going again. Yeah, Denise says if you're having troubles with Godzilla 21, you got issues. We have Chibi, Skar King, Final Wars, Gigan, any of those. Yeah, anything with stun is just going to rinse him immediately. And that is what it is. He's decent. He's not amazing. He's made it out of B tier. We love him. Our big chubby boy. Godzilla 1954. Yeah, Godzilla 1954 is one of those monsters that routinely is struggling in the meta. Godzilla 1954. Godzilla 1954 routinely struggles, not off of his own merit. Godzilla 1954 struggles because every time they add a new monster to his kit, he gets a little bit weaker. He is a hoss. He has really solid damage. He has really solid HP as well. He has all around better stats. He's never been better than Ultima. He's been comparable to Ultima in terms of stats, but he's never been better than Ultima. Maybe when his kit had a lot less guys in it. But now, who does he have in his kit? Ultima, Godzilla 1999, Godzilla 2000, GD9, Kiryu, Final Wars, I think. He's got too many. Ultima for 4 cost is phenomenal. Kiryu for 4 cost is phenomenal. You have to evolve Terrestrius into Ultima, and then when Ultima dies, he goes back to Terrestrius. It's a whole thing. He is really good in the lower ranks for newer players. He's going to give newer players access to characters that they don't own, and they're going to be able to try them out. They recently buffed him a few months ago to he will increase the level of the units that he can spawn into by 5, but they cannot exceed levels higher than him. So if your Kiryu is level 25 and he's level 20, it'll still spawn in a level 25 Kiryu. But if your Kiryu is 15 and he's level 20, the Kiryu will be level 20. Because he's going to use the units that you have and with the levels that you have them at. But if he is spawning one that is lower levels than him, it will increase them up to 5, but never higher than he is. So if they're 29 and he's 30, he's gonna make them into a 30, but not a 34. He's cool. He's not particularly very good. Every time they add a new Godzilla to him, he becomes a little worse. Speaking of a little worse, this absolute fucking dumpster fire Godzilla that we're putting in the C tier now. G89 is not it. This might be the most wicked, one of the most wicked fall from graces that we've ever seen. G89 was on top of the world for months, S+ unit, definitely an S tier leader. He hits really hard, he can't hit air, he's really slow, and his range isn't too long. Guess what's not happening for him in most of the meta? Getting any kills. That's it. He's there to die. He is 7 energy and does nothing. I will come back when in time to defend Mecha-Godzilla 21. I get what Jaden's smoking. G89 is not that good. A lot of new players will think he's good because it's all you have. He's not very good. He's a good leader. We're not talking about leaders tonight. We are talking about units. And G89 has had a monumental fall from grace. He's not good. He's a very standard, tanky, ground-based unit. He's as vanilla as they come. There's not a lot going for him. And with the units getting even crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier, units from the beginning of the game's history will start lagging behind. Not all of them, but some of them definitely will. G89 is not great. Is a better lead. Now, G89 has always been a better lead than a unit. Always been a better lead than a unit. He's still a good lead. Not talking about leads tonight. Godzilla Earth. Godzilla Earth is in the S tier. Usually I put Godzilla Earth in the S+ tier. Godzilla Earth still very good character. Godzilla Earth still very, very, very good character. The meta is just annihilating him. Skar King can pull him. It can't stun him, but Skar King can pull him. Shimu's going to slow him down and do the chip damage. Shimu's 2% damage with the freeze. That's a lot. That's a lot on a big unit like Earth. That is a lot. Kong just pounces on him, has the 2 hits of invincibility. G24 just pumps out a fucking ton of damage. Earth is still good. Earth is definitely an S tier unit. He will continue to be an S tier unit as the next season goes on and the one after that. He is struggling in this current meta. There is a lot of adversity towards him, but he's still very good. If you're a brand new player, you have yours at like level 5 before you hit like a rank 36 or something like that, you're going to smoke everyone you see pretty much. He's phenomenal. He's one of my favorite units in the game. I think he's such a unique piece. There's literally nothing else like him in the game, but he's definitely fallen off. He's definitely fallen off a little bit just because of the way that the power creep is heading. But it stands a testament to him to be as slow as he is with the stats that he has and still as good as he is. So there you go. Ugh, this next section hurts my soul on so many levels because I love Godzilla Terrestrials. I love Godzilla Ultima. Godzilla Ultima may be one of my favorite characters in the game. Top 3 easily. Love Ultima. They're cooking him this season. Last season, Ultima was like top. Fuck, he was so good. Like last season, I think he's gonna have to stay in the A tier though this season. Godzilla Ultima is kind of dropping, I think, a little bit. I had him at the top of A last season. I think I'm gonna keep him maybe top or mid of A. Maybe even behind that because, man, he needs to evolve, and he's just going to get jumped before he can even evolve. It's rough out there. And then when he's Ultima, he's a little slow, and the other guys are going to just pounce. Kong's just going to pounce on him, and Skar King's going to pull the shit out of him, and he's really good if you can play really defense-heavy, but in this current meta, he's just getting smacked. He's just getting smacked, which sucks. What is Ultima best used for? He's best used for long-range gameplay. Like, obviously, because he's like a huge sniper. The new Kong just jumps on his ass and beats the fuck out of him. That's just what it is. I love Ultima, but this season is not too kind for him. There are a lot of really good not a lot. All the new units are extremely good close quarters combat fighters, and Ultima just immediately gets shit on in close range combat. I agree, he needs to be lowered. He needs to be lowered to a 5 cost, or Terrestrius needs to be easier to evolve. Ultima's a great unit and still is too. He's part of the reason why I made my player name as it is. It's he's so good. He's so good. I love Ultima. I love Ultima. There's nothing I love more than some Ultima, but this season is not for him. Not for him. You know what else is not for them? Hedorah. Hedorah is not super great. The little flying form is extremely easy to evolve, and then once you get this form, it's not really much better. She has fallen off way big time. Way big time. There is now so much. She used to be the premier AoE because there wasn't a lot of AoE. There is so much AoE. There are so many better status effects than her acid. Shit, there is someone with a better acid effect than her. Had to sneeze. There are so many better options. So many better options than Hedorah these days. And it's unfortunate. I like Hedorah a lot. She's one of my favorite characters. She's one of my first level 30 units. And at the time, one of my first max level units, because level 30 was the max. Oh well, how the mighty have fallen. Now, the Jet Jaguar duo. Well, this Jet Jaguar I still think is halfway decent. 3 cost, stays in one spot, gives a damage boost. You can put it on your leader, you can put it on your guys as they come out of spawn. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. This guy, he is fun, but he's not. He might actually be worse this season than worse than he ever has. Cause he's gonna push characters away, but if he pushes Skar King away, Skar King is just gonna chain him. If he pushes Kong away, Kong is just gonna jump on him. He's gonna be at least halfway decent against Godzilla 24 and Shimo, but Shimo's gonna freeze him, and then he's gonna walk on the frozen thing. He's not doing too hot. I like this one because it's just an easy buff you can give out, but he effectively gets worse when he evolves. I think he might be the only evolution unit we have that just gets worse. Now, a unit that I think is actually moving up a little bit in the world this season is Jet Jaguar. I think Jet Jaguar, singular point, moves up a little bit. And it's more of a smoke 'em if you got 'em situation. Because we're talking a lot about close quarters combat this season. Jet Jaguar has the 2 shields, just like Kong does. Okay? He has an AoE. He can't hit air, but that's the only unfortunate thing about him. But he's got a pretty decent AoE, he's got pretty decent attack speed, and he can eat up 2 hits for free. He's going to get chained up by Skar King, but it doesn't matter, he's eating 2 hits for free like Kong. He can get hit by the Chibis, he's eating 2 hits for free. He's good. He's good against Godzilla 2004, or 2024, exactly, because Godzilla 2024 is going to hit him once, and he's going to eat it, he's going to hit him a few times, Godzilla's going to go again, it doesn't matter, he's not going to help him build his charge. Jet Jaguar's moving up. Jet Jaguar's moving up in the world, just solely because of his immunity, how big it is on Kong, how big it is on him, it's phenomenal. Swarms are taking a piss this season. They're terrible, they're lower than the Kamakuras one because they can't hit air. And now this Kamakuras, usually I put this Kamakuras in the S tier. But I think because of Godzilla 24, they're gonna have to go into the A tier. You don't really see them these days too much because of Shinden just does their job but a little bit better. They're still really good. But you're just going to feed the Godzilla 2024s. Kong is going to jump on all of them. Shimu's Ice Beam is just going to freeze all of them. Skar King is self-explanatory. So they've dropped off this season quite a bit. if I were to put them in S tier, they would be at maybe the very bottom of S tier. Well, it seems Sande at the bottom was the logic helps with the Rainbow Mothra Shield. If you need Sande to help you with the Rainbow Mothra Shields, then you're helpless, because there are so many better options to deal with the Rainbow Mothra Shield. If you're packing Sande need just for the Rainbow Mothra Shield, you need to get your head evaluated. Speaking of terrible units, Kids is not good. Kids has not really ever been super useful, ever. It's gotten like 1 or 2 buffs over the years, and it's just not it. It's because it's too telegraphed. It's too easy to tell exactly what your opponent is going to do and where they're going to do it when they use Kids. Kids has never been a very good option. I ain't running people using it on me. Oh, well, then they're brain dead. King Caesar. I like King Caesar. I don't particularly think that he is incredibly strong. King Caesar is a solid C unit this season, and I'm going to put him above G89 because while G89 hits a lot harder, you might be able to eke out some damage with King Caesar. Not a whole lot. He's going to make contact, and then he's pretty much going to die. Actually, he might be worse than G89 because he's a 4 cost. He's going to grab by Skar King, and then he's going to get killed immediately. So, he's down. He's still in the C tier. Mecha King Hedorah, top of C tier. This is as C tier as it comes. These two goobers. The difference between them is like minimal health points, like 30 or 60 health points. I think it's like 69 nice health points. They are not good. They are not good. They need to just revert the changes. They had Mecha Hedorah would have been S+ tier for a while. In the season, I think like 2 Mays ago, and then they nerfed the shit out of him. I love when you mentioned this Skar King Caesar and that happened. That's pretty funny. King Hedorah sucks. I don't like him. I only ever use him to do missions, and even then, it's not even super worth it. He is an on-death evolve, so that is pretty good, but the difference between these two is absolutely minuscule, and they are just fodder material. If I see King Hedorah, I have an assumption I'm probably going to win that push unless it's like a gold one or not. And then even so, there are better Ghidorahs. Mecha King Hedorah pre-nerf would only be like high A tier now at best. How the Mighty Fallen, yeah. Now with the Power Creep would have been like high A tier, but he had a chance at one point to have been the top of the meta, and then they ganked it out from under him in like 2 or 3 days because it was a bug. Whew, okay. Kiryu. Kiryu, I think, is in the A tier. Kiryu is a fun unit. Kiryu's fine. Dropping him on an enemy, tried and true to tradition. Where's Kiryu Kai? I'll do Kiryu Kai with him because they're like the same thing. Kiryu Kai and Kiryu is a time-honored tradition of dropping these two bozos together. Or you don't drop them together, but you drop one and then he becomes the other. Super telegraphed. 99% of Kiryu players just drop him on the enemy leader for some easy damage. You're probably better off dropping Kiryu on a push because his AoE is pretty good. He's going to help you clean things up. Kiryu Kai is worse, in my opinion, than regular Kiryu because regular Kiryu always has an AoE splash damage, and Kiryu Kai, depending on the range, is either single target or AoE. I prefer when he's AoE. His airdrop, I think, does a little bit more damage. I think he overall does more damage, but I don't like that he can go between single target and AoE. I wish he was always AoE. I feel like he gets slightly worse. Next is Conky Dong, our next character of the night that has gotten a buff this season. What the fuck was that? Something just totally fell? What the fuck was that sound? It scared the shit out of me. I have no idea what that was. Weird. Huh. Something fell. Don't know what. Maybe stickers. Stickers fall? What fell in? It almost sounded like a snake for a second, like a hiss, but it's definitely paper. There's no snake in here. Oh, I know what it was. It was this thing. I had a piece of loose leaf over here. I was taking notes in a meeting. Weird. Alright. Kong. Kong 2021 got 3 changes this season. Kong 2021 got lowered cost, which is good. He was 6, now he's 5. He got an increase to his HP, and he got an increase to his attack. Do you know what this has done for our monkey boy? Do you know what this has done for him? He has graduated from the C tier, drumroll please, to the B tier, the bottom. Kong getting the adjustment to his cost is great. He's a 5 cost. We love to see that. The health increase, we love to see that. That's going to keep him alive a little bit longer. And the increase to attack is great. It keeps him alive a little bit longer. He's still as meta as they come. Or not as meta, as vanilla as they come. He can't hit air, he's slow, he's tanky, and he deals a lot of damage. I love Kong. I wish he was better. I've been wishing Kong was better for a long time, but now he's not, and now him and his buddy Godzilla can hold hands over here on the tier list. So, yeah, Nisa's Orga is better. Orga is better than Kong. There are a lot of characters that are better than this Kong, but those buffs to him, and this season, there's a lot of pieces being handed out for him. Pretty good. If you're a brand new player, you got I think a few pieces of him for free, and there was a few pieces of him in the All-Star Battle Store. I will defend Orga too when the time comes. I'm not gonna. Listen. You can defend Orga all you want. I think I know where I'm gonna place Orga. My Marker Light Cannon is dog ass. It doesn't move, but it has high damage, so I will put it like right above this. But it doesn't move. Yeah, Kong is a great leader. Kong is, I think, in my opinion, one of my favorite leaders. That's ass. M-Boss base is ass. Excuse me, regular M-Boss is ass. This Mecha Godzilla is in the D tier now. I had him in the C tier for a little bit because he got some improvements, but now with Skar King running around and other Kong, he's just getting shit on absolutely left and right. He's pretty vanilla as well. He's getting in the D tier. I don't think anything's saving this guy. Megaguirus is low C tier. Megaguirus is extremely low C tier. She's good. She's fallen off a lot. I don't think she's as bad as like Mechagodzilla or Gigan, but Megaguirus is definitely near the bottom of C. The bottom of C is like the evolution units and then these guys. I don't even think she's as good as like Terrestris. I think she's like here. I honestly think that this guy also is like something like here. She's like that. She's fallen off. There's not really a place for her in the meta at this time. Now, Minilla is, I think, maybe in C tier now. He's just going to get absolutely fucking annihilated. Just absolutely fucking annihilated by everything that walks or has a halfway decent range. The introduction of the Chibis just absolutely shits on anything that Minilla was even considering being capable of ever of all time. Actually, he might even be lower than this now. Minilla might be something like this. There's so much working against smaller units. He doesn't have the stats to keep up anymore. If he didn't get a nerf like 2 years ago, he still probably would be in the B tier. He just gets immediately deleted when Kong jumps on him. Skar King has the damage boost. The Chibis are strictly do what Minilla does, but infinitely better for double the cost. Minilla is not even worth it anymore. I'm sorry, Minilla. You used to be my love, and now you're in the trash. Missiles, maybe the worst effect in the game next to the Snd. Only worse than Snd because they cost more. They cost 5 and they do fuck all, when opposed to trains who cost the same, who cost 3 and do way more than the missiles do. So that's a big L right there. Now, this is a character, Mogera, that I think is deservedly in the B tier this season. I think maybe like this is fine. Mogera I like a lot. This classic Mogera. Definitely a solid play overall. I think you can't really go wrong with having him on your team. Most of the time, people are doing it to spam enemy leaders. But that's fine. I like Mogera a lot. He has pretty much one job, and it's to join your push and help with the assault, or, you know, snipe the bases, the energy base, stuff like that, or the enemy leader. A lot of people use him on the enemy leader. I think the best time to use him is not on his own. The best time to use Mogera is when you already have units on a leader. You send him behind them, and he'll take aggro. Bada bing, bada boom. Next. Mothra. Mothra. This little one, this is a solid B tier right here. Little solid B tier one right there. All right. This Mothra, the evolution of it, this is a phenomenal fucking unit. I love Mothra Margo. You know what? I'll put Mothra Margo in the S tier only because she's a little bit worse now because of Skar King. So she'll go down a tier. I still think she's phenomenal. When Skar King's out of the meta, she'll probably go back into the S+ tier. Mothra is amazing. I love everything about her. She's incredibly strong. I use her on my team. I run on my team Skar King, Shimo, and Kong, and then I have Biollante and Mothra and Gigan 04 as like lower supplemental characters to facilitate the push. She is extremely good at doing that. But Skar King rules right now, and I think she's in the S tier, probably like at the top of S tier. I would maybe put her, I think an argument can be made for the S+ tier, and if you think she's S+ tier, I think you're valid. I like her in the S+ tier. I think next season she'll probably go back to S+ tier, but my Mothra is just getting like rinsed constantly by Skar Kings, so I'm just going to put her in the S tier for now. But if you think she's S+ tier, I think you're valid for that. Mothra Leo, I think, is kind of falling off as well this season. I don't think he's as strong as he used to be. Maybe even a B, high B. Because pretty much all Mothra Leo does is have pretty decent stats and then hit really hard, but there's a lot of ways to stop him or distract him and make it useless. Shinden, Chibi, Skar King, Kong is immune, Jaguar is immune. We have left and right. We have different ways to stop Leo. Leo used to be it was in the apex of the meta for years. Literally years. And I think he's fallen out of favor quite a bit. Last season I had them in the A tier, but I think that they have lived through their usefulness in this current meta. Just hitting once really hard is not enough to win you altercations now. You need kind of big synergies, big buffs. This is not it. I mean, maybe if you paired him with something, he'd be in the A tier again, but I don't think. I mean, even if you know what, if he's in the B tier, then so is this guy. I think that's maybe how it has to be. Shinden absolutely just annihilates him. Shinden absolutely annihilates him. And so does now Kong and Jaguar. Naranga. I love Naranga. Naranga does not get enough time a day. I think Naranga is a solid all-around pick, but I think he's probably in the... Maybe do this. I think Naranga is like probably high B at this point now. We're trying to get like really specific here with our S+, S, and A tier characters. Naranga is really good. He's getting messed up by the Chibis who are stun immune. Shinden's going to distract him. Dab is just going to obliterate him. Skar King's going to obliterate him. And the reason he doesn't get the spotlight is because of the collab being over. I mean, yeah, but even so, like even with the collabs, he wasn't really like a goated unit or anything. I like him. I like Naranga a lot. I don't particularly think he is super impactful anymore. I gotta sneeze again. And we're back. Alright, Psychic-Chorus. This is an easy S tier. I like Psychic-Chorus a lot. One of the few ways we have to heal up. Can't go wrong with that. It's 3 costs, deploys anywhere. You can heal up your units, you can heal yourself up, you can drop it on your enemy. to be a little cheeky bastard. Not really too much to say about Kamakuras, other than if you're healing yourself, you're in a good spot. If you can afford to heal yourself while the battle's going on, even better. Good for you. This Rodan is D easily. Just a vanilla flyer, low stats, low cost. Not a whole lot to write home about him. Not super great. Not a big fan of this Rodan. It's not good. Not good at all. You know what? I got to do this, actually. Hold on, let me do the window capture. Move this over just a little bit like that, I think. So we can kind of see who's on the ends there. All right. You know who else is dog shit? Shin Godzilla is not very good. Shin Godzilla is oh my god, not very good. I got to move this over more, too, because I can't even hear or can't even see the Hedorah over there. Shin Godzilla, not good. This former Shin Godzilla is going to go in the B tier because it's like a guaranteed evolution if you can just put it behind yourself. And then this Shin Godzilla is like down here. Not good. It might be actually lower than these two goobers. Not super good. I think he's still too expensive. He takes way too much work to get out. He is supposed to counter the air meta, and he was never good at countering the air meta, and now we don't have an air meta. And to be Shin Godzilla fighting single target ground units is not what you want. You want Shin Godzilla fighting air units, so he procs that AoE. Most of the meta units are touching the floor, so he's just dropped like a motherfucker. Absolutely dropped. I mean, he wasn't super high before. He was in the A tier last season. I think he's probably just about there. He's not getting any play this season. Now, someone that is getting a fair amount of play. I like Space Godzilla. I like Space Godzilla a lot. These crystals are phenomenal. Shin Godzilla's a good leader. Shin Godzilla's a good leader. No, he's not. No, he is not. He is not a good leader. Space Godzilla rules. The crystals will feed, what's his name, the G24, but the crystals will eat up hits from Kong. The crystals will distract Shimo. The crystals will distract Skar King. The crystals are good. Space Godzilla has good stats. He will buff your team. He will move with your team and buff your team. Space Godzilla is good. I like Space Godzilla a lot. There is another Space Godzilla. Shin leaders, when I drop my entire hand, they cannot drain any energy. Yeah, exactly. Fukuoka version is better. We're not talking about Fukuoka version yet, but I like this Space Godzilla. He's phenomenal. I love him. Crystal Hell. I remember Crystal Hell a few seasons ago. Yeah, well, Crystal Hell, a lot of people didn't invest in Fukuoka Godzilla. I don't know why. I really like Fukuoka Godzilla. I've been saving my Gmats for other characters to make content based on other characters, but if I could go back and just spend like on the guaranteed Fukuoka drops, I would be doing that in a heartbeat. I love Fukuoka Godzilla. All right, we got what's his name here? Super X. Can I actually move this in like that? Is this gonna show up better? Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Can I unlock this? Look at that. Perfect. We'd love to see that. Okay. Super X. Super X also has fallen off. A lot of people are using him this season. I've seen it a few times. I think Super X is kind of down here in the C. It's gonna specifically due to G24 gaining strength due to kills. I don't believe Space Godzilla should be in the S. He does too much for your enemy. I don't think he does too much for your enemy. I don't. He's gonna help you distract against Kong. He's gonna help you distract against Skar King. He's gonna help you with Shimo. He's gonna help them retarget. I think the only one of this season he's not good against is that Godzilla, but I think that Godzilla, I have my opinions on him. But Super X is in the C tier. I don't think Super X is in B tier. Super X needs to go back to 3 cost. Super X cannot and will not survive in any meta moving forward at 5 cost. Super X immediately dropped from the from the meta because of the 5 cost. I understand that it eats the Kong armor, but we have other characters that eat the Kong armor just as well. The Chibis eat the Kong armor. Shimo eats the Kong armor. Wakasabe Biollante eats the Kong armor. There are other characters that do more for your team that eat the Kong armor, and they have a lot more health than the Shinden does. A lot more utility, or not Shinden, Super X does. A lot more utility as well. So, in the C tier until it gets its cost reduced, probably. Ultraman, he just had a movie this past weekend. We love that for him. Ultraman's not very good either. He is, just okay, I think. I think he's a solid B. God, who is it that uses him? Shimo, I don't even remember how to say your name all the way. Shimo, you know what you're talking about. Shimoyo, or I don't even remember how to say your name, but you were in here earlier. Shishimo uses Ultraman, and that Ultraman is fucking scary. I'm a big fan of Ultraman. I think they need to reverse his nerf and maybe give him a little bit of an attack boost or a health boost, and then he would be, I think, easy A tier. I like Ultraman a lot. I think his range is good. I think his piercing is good. His stun immunity is good. His flying is good. His ground stuff is good. Ultraman all around is good. He just doesn't, I think, have the stats to back it up. Either reduce his cost or raise his stats. Ultraman is great. I love Ultraman. I think I would actually probably put him maybe above like that. I think it maybe would put Ultraman like somewhere here. Maybe like this. Something like that I think is fine for Ultraman. I like him a lot. He's not really hitting those high marks. You know what is hitting high marks? Trains are good. Trains are always good. 3 cost, like 1200 damage. Fucking good. You can throw them anywhere on the map. They're going to take down Kong shields. They're going to take down the Jaguar shields. They're going to take down the... They're going to half health the Chibis and get that distraction out of the way. They're going to take down the Space Godzilla crystals. They'll take down the energy base. They take down the helicopter base. They take down the M-Ball base. They take down Market Light Cannon. They are really good against Ginza Godzilla, who we'll talk about in a little bit because he's having a little bit of time to shine this season as well. Trains are phenomenal. Trains have been phenomenal for a long time. They were really good in the very first season of the game. They got a huge nerf. They came back in a big way last year, or maybe the year before. Either way, trains are like a staple of this game. You pair them with Kiryu. Phenomenal. Easy win combo, Kiryu leader and trains. Tried and true. I think these are the 3 best status effects we have in the game, or effect pieces. The Dimension Tide, and then the Psychic Chorus, and the trains. I put the trains here lower than Chorus. I'll put the trains above Chorus, but honestly, I don't think it matters in what order you put it in. They're both pretty good. Pretty good, just do basically the opposite. God, Shinden, or not Shinden, what the fuck is your name? Zeton is not good either. I love the concept of Zeton, and I wish that Zeton was just stronger. I wish that Zeton's damage scaled up like G21. I wish that Zeton had way longer range, and I wish that Zeton had more health. Zeton just doesn't have the damage. Zeton has the health. It has the attack speed. It has that on-death explosion. But it doesn't have the range. We need justice for Zeton. When I show up to the worst 4-star competition and my opponent is Zeton. Zeton is so sick. Zeton is so sick. He's one of my favorite characters in the game. One of my favorite concepts for a character in the game. The idea of Zeton is so sick to me in Battle Line. He would be really good on Hollow Earth. Honest to God. I think Zeton could cook on Hollow Earth. Because he's going to basically cover that entire half of the map for you. But he doesn't have the damage. That explosion at max health is whatever. Zeton just needs a huge boost to his damage, and I think that he would probably be a phenomenal defense play. I love Zeton. Mephilus also dog water as well. The package deal for losers right here. Actually, I'd maybe do this. Package deal for losers. Mephilus, it's a fucking the 9th wonder of the world. Why Mephilus is a 6 cost? I have no fucking clue. He should be like a 4 at the most. Maybe a 3 at the most. Mephilus' stats are alright, and his ability is just fine. There is no reason he needs to be a 6 cost. The only reason he is in the D tier is because he is a 6 cost unit. There is no reason for him to be 6 cost. That is the only thing holding him back. Otherwise, he's halfway decent. He's good in studio mode because he can give you a lot of gold. But holy shit. Holy shit. Is it his fucking... Zeton meta's coming? Listen, Zeton meta had come and gone, and I apologize to you for not capitalizing on it. I tried to make a video telling everyone that Zeton was cracked, and no one wanted to listen to me. And then the Zeton meta came and went, and I was the only one that had fun with it. Godzilla 2004, I think he is falling off a bit in terms of damage. I might put him in the high A. From one Ava fan to another, problem in the S plus tier. Ugh. Sounds like propaganda to me. A little bit. I might put Godzilla Final Wars in the A tier. I really don't think that he is keeping up with the meta anymore. He's usually pretty good at dealing damage, being a damage dealer, but I think he's just getting eaten alive out there. His pushback is fine, but two of the characters want to be a little bit farther away from you, Kong and what's his name? Skar King with the lasso. He was good even last season, this guy, but I think he is starting to show his age. I think he is starting to drop off a little bit. I don't know if this is just me, but I realized he got Godzilla 4 this season. Yeah, no, I think he's dropping off. Now, one that never really picked up a whole lot of steam, but I wish they did, was Ava 1. I love Ava 01. She's the best girl. I'm a big fan. If I couldn't get Shimo yet, does anyone know when she is returning? Yeah, she's not leaving yet, so you have plenty of time to get her. You at least have 6 months, I would imagine, to get her. So if you don't have Shimo now, don't worry about it. She's not going anywhere anytime soon. She will eventually leave. Ava 01 is my beloved. I just like you, Senator Armstrong. I love Ava 01. I love everything about Ava 01. I wish that they just went ahead and did something with a spear of Cassius or Longinus, however the fuck you say it, because Jaguar also has a spear, and they could have done another spear character, but this one hits air. It's falling off. 6 months? Yes, we're gonna do 6 months. Venom. Fuck. You know, I'm thinking this. God damn it. But yeah, Ava 01 has kind of fallen off big time. Because she never really was super strong. Her kid is like all the Avas suffer from like their kids being like a little bit too complicated for them to really be super effective. Now, Chad behavior has entered the call. The fourth angel is absolutely fucking eating this season. He was dropping off a little bit because the explosions were kind of going off by the wayside. The fourth angel still fucking rules. Skar King's gonna pull his ass in, and he's just gonna detonate, and he's gonna fuck everything up in there. He's gonna fuck up the Chibis. He's gonna fuck up Skar King. He hits like a truck. He's got a ton of health. You put him in front, and Skar King grabs him. Boom, lights out. Goated unit. He's been very good for a long time. He's a counter to a bunch of things. He has been very solid for a very long time. The only reason that he would be falling off or not important to your roster is if you don't have him or you have him at a low level. But at level 30, and even level 25 and up, level 20 and up, he's an extremely good counter to a lot of really powerful monsters in the meta this season. Kong's going to jump straight on him, kill him. Kong's going to get nuked. As long as you can get rid of Kong's shields, that's a dub. Love that for him. Fourth Angel, love seeing one of the collab units in the top. Big day for us. I still said that my fourth Angel is only at level 17. You got him at 29, you're pissed. I had mine at level 30, like really soon after the collab, and then I almost didn't have the 10th Angel and Kumo at 30 before the end of the event, but I had like the season before they left, like in Christmas, I must have spent like $100 or $200 of like Christmas money, just opening packs to try to get them to level 30 before before they went away. When do I think that they will return? I don't know. I hope that they return this year, or like I hope they return around Christmas time. I think that'd be very nice and poetic. I hope they return in general at some point. We have no idea when they will return. I think it would be a shame if the Shin Japanese Hero stuff never came back. I really want a second Kamen Rider collab. I'm upset we didn't get that. I would love more Evangelion characters. I'm upset we didn't get that. I hope they return to the game at some point. All of them are fun. Not all of them are particularly strong, but all of them are fun. Alright. Now this one's going to cause an argument. Mecha-Godzilla 2021 has arrived. Mecha-Godzilla 2021 is the third and final character to receive a buff this season that we're going to talk about. Mecha-Godzilla has now increased HP and adjusted the HP before attack change. Mecha-Godzilla 21 previously took a lot. He had to get really low on health to do anything effective with his changing attacks. Now he does not have to get nearly as low to capitalize on his attacks. He still has to get extremely, and I mean extremely close. He has to get extremely close to still do what he wants to do. But now his missile spray is significantly better. His damage up is good. His attack up is good, or HP up, whatever I just said is good. Whatever that boost is that he got is clearly doing something for him, because he has also graduated. Mecha-Godzilla 2021, in my opinion, has graduated from the C tier, say it with me, low A tier. I think I was really argumentative with Jaden about it the other day. But he kind of cooked the fuck out of me with him 2 games in a row. His boosts are really nice. He does a ton of damage now. He is low A tier. Maybe on the cusp of B tier. Top of B, low A. Something like this. Something like this. He's great. But he's definitely a character that he suffers from not having levels. I don't think I've ever seen a character more in need of stats than this character. At like anything lower than 20, he just folds immediately. Like, he just folds immediately. If you can get him into like 20, 25, 30, he fucking slams the shit out of everybody. I was a non-believer as well, and then Jaden just absolutely destroyed me with him. He is definitely better than Naranga. This is the main problem with some of the collab units, they just need levels. He literally just needs levels. He's not the best unit in the game. He's not the worst unit in the game. He is somewhere between low A and mid to high B. Just because I have him placed on the A tier, that doesn't necessarily mean he is all like better than everything else. He is somewhere in the A and the B tier. Somewhere in between the low A and the mid to high B. I like him. Definitely very controversial choice. And I think it's definitely the one that this tier list is going to get the most flack for, probably. But I think that he is at least more usable now than he really has been in a long, long, long time. And if he gets pulled by the Skar King, yeah, exactly, Godzilla, it makes his range not a problem. Because if he gets pulled by Skar King, he has the missiles, he's just nuking everything. GMK Godzilla. I like GMK Godzilla a lot. I think I would maybe put him in the... God, GMK. I'm gonna put GMK in the S tier this season. A lot of players are keeping their characters grouped up together. GMK is good to take down the Chibis because he's hitting the AoE. Mainly what I am looking at him for is he has a decent enough AoE with decent enough range. The debuff that he gives, I think, is pretty strong. Skar King is going to give everyone a 20% boost. If GMK dies, he gets rid of it. Say he's going to get rid of Biollante's boost, he gets rid of GMK's. Even if he isn't in the S tier, he's got to be something like right here in the A. Something like this, like the top of it. Because the AoE is phenomenal, and a lot of people are playing really grouped up together. He's a lot slower than some of the other Godzillas, but he's pretty decent. I have mine in the mid-20s. I like using him a lot. There have been a few times where the debuff goes off and it fucks up my push, so I see the argument for it. I see the vision. I'll say A. Bunch of Evangelion characters coming up. 10th Angel. Try to go quick because it's almost 10 o'clock and we still have a fucking all of the summer of 2023 and then all of the 2024 fuckers to go through. But 10th Angel. 10th Angel, 4th Angel, which is better? The 4th Angel is definitely better. I like 10th Angel a lot, though. I'm going to put 10th Angel solidly in the A tier. I think with the explosion, I think he's better than Burning Godzilla. Actually, I put 10th Angel like right over here. Something like that. I think the 10th Angel is fine. The 10th Angel has piercing, which is going to be phenomenal for Kong's shields. The range is really good, which is going to be phenomenal for, what's his name? I don't even remember who I said. Kong shields. I don't remember who else was fucking talking about. The range is really good. It's going to help counter Shimo. Skar King's going to pull this guy in, and he's going to detonate. That's fine. The pierce is good. The detonation is good. That is what it is. Oliver Shikishima is not here yet. You got to wait for Shikishima. He's goated. He's down here somewhere. Right there. You got to wait for him. 10th Angel somewhere up here in mid-A. Mari sucks. I love Mari. I think she's better than Minilla. But she's not very good. She does not have the damage. She has a range. She has crazy range. If they gave her a damage boost, she'd be phenomenal. What is this one? What's her name? The one that runs and explodes. Unit 0. C tier. She really had her time in the sun for a while when bomb meta was big. But now she just, as soon as she pulls out that shield, like Destroy a Dab just annihilates her. Right? The Chibis just annihilate her. Ray cannot make it to the end of the map. Ray wants to make it to the other end of the map and explode. She just can't do it. She used to be able to do it. There's so much shit preventing her from doing it. She just can't do it anymore. Akasa. Oh my god, Akasa. Oh my god. Why am I not remembering her name? Asuka. Soryu Langley. I was gonna say Akasa. It's Asuka. She sucks ass. Asuka. Oh my god. Unit 2 is just absolute garbo. This might be, honest to god, the most difficult evolution to hit in the entire game, period. Just because it's terrible. Getting back to Mechagodzilla real quick. Will Toho release motion pack for Kit? Did I miss it? I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe. I don't know. Did it even have a motion pack for it? I have no idea. I don't remember. She's not great, and neither is her evolved form. Her evolved form is, like, so broken, and, like, I'm sorry, please stop it. It's happened again. She's not good. Neither the beast form of Unit 2 or the regular form of Unit 2 are any good. Unit 2, having the increased damage to air, was supposed to be counter the air meta. She was never able to counter the air meta. The retargeting takes too long. Like, she's a sitting duck. She just runs into the enemies and she doesn't do anything. It's terrible. She's not very good. I don't recommend using it. Now, a collab unit that I do recommend using, one that I like a lot, is Kamen Rider, but I definitely think Kamen Rider has fallen off this season. Particularly because of Skar King. But man, I love Kamen Rider so much, dude. Kamen Rider fucking rules. He's so sick. He is so much fun to drop Kamen Rider on with the Cyclone comes down and he just pushes them away and then he karate chops, but Skar King basically fucks up his entire day. Kong is immune to everything. Shimo is gonna fucking annihilate him. This other Godzilla is gonna just nuke him and eat him for lunch. So I like Kamen Rider. Phenomenal leader. One of the best leaders we have in my opinion. As a unit, he is definitely falling off as well. Probably something like, maybe like this. He's fallen off this season for sure. Kumo augment dog water actually, and he's only in the D tier above everything else because he has a stun, and his stun is actually halfway decent. He got nerfed twice. After the first nerf, he was still top of the meta. After the second nerf, that put him in the ground for good. Absolutely fucking annihilated. So Kumo augment had his time in the sun, and it's over. Mecha Godzilla 1974. I think is a pretty decent leader. I think as far... When I grab the wrong guy, I grabbed -1. Whoopsies. Mecha-Godzilla. Mecha-Godzilla is like a mid B tier character. I think that we're making a leader tier list in 2 days. I'm gonna live stream a leader tier list. I promised one this season. I gotta do one before I go on vacation. 2 days. 2 days from now on Thursday. Mecha-Godzilla is good. The disguise gimmick is fun, but it's not super impactful. I will glaze G24 leader when the time comes. I think he's a good leader. I've been using him all season to get the 500 wins, and I think he's genuinely a good leader. But we're not talking about that right now. I think this guy's just middle of the road. He's all right. I don't think he's super impactful. He's like fun to have, not necessarily going to be really good for your team. I don't really know what else to say about him. His gimmick is not that great. I really haven't seen him in the actual game, in gameplay, in months. I literally couldn't give you a fair assertion on him if I wanted to. But I know he's not good. This little chibi dude, he got a buff recently. He is actually pretty solid. I'll put him like right over here in front of the Kong, I think. This guy fucking rules. I love the chibi. Get that full meter on the chibi and he's going to go to town. He had a buff a few months ago that helped him out a lot. It moved him out of, what, C or D tier into the B tier. So, he's pretty fire. The chibis rule. First of all the chibi, like, designs look fantastic. I loved this chibi so much that I bought the Bandai Movie Monsters series of him. I have nothing bad to say about the chibis. I think he's solid. He's a solid B tier pick. No questions asked. Very, very, very good for his cost. All of his abilities roll. Like him a lot. Ghidorah 2019. I am not particularly a huge fan of Ghidorah 2019. I think every time that he shows up, he just gets immediately fucking annihilated. The best use for him is on defense, when you need a big body to tank for your leader, and when he spawns in, he does the big lightning blast. Other than that, the chibis are going to fuck him up. The Shinden will just fuck him up. Skar King is going to pull him, but it's not really matter. Shimo is going to use her freeze to take that 2%, that 10% health. He's basically worse -1 in every way. Scarlet likes using him. Scarlet's got a high level 1. I think there's bias there, but Scarlet is a really good player, so I do take his word for it. But I think especially this season, this character has fallen off. The chibis, the Shinden, the rise of like some faster units, smaller units. He's really expensive to drop, and you could be having in your deck other characters that are maybe a little bit less that do a lot more for you in the match, like Skar King, like Shimo, like Godzilla 24, like Kong. Now, S tier though, remaining in the S tier though, is Mothra 2019. I adore Mothra 2019. I think that she is a phenomenal unit. I have no real notes on her. I love her whole kit. The stun immune is not needed anymore. She was introduced when Kumo was the meta, and that was pretty much the counter Kumo. We don't really need stun immune. However, the chibis are stunning everything. Skar King is stunning everything. I love Mothra 2019. She's going to give you temporary stun immunity. So that's going to be big helping you on some of those meta characters. She is 6 cost, that is expensive, but when she dies, she refunds you 2 energy, so she's effectively a 4 cost. She also has really long range and a really good slow. I like her a lot. Super comfortable putting her in your deck. Mothra 2019, absolutely goated character. Making some of your bigger guys like Kong or G24 or Skar, your Skar King or your Shimo or your Chibi stun immune is fantastic. Alright, Kaiser Ghidorah. Excuse me. Kaiser Ghidorah is kind of dog shit. Kaiser Ghidorah is like, I don't even know, like down here somewhere. Not very good. And then Monster X is like not doing much better, honest to God. Monster X kind of just shows up to die, so you get to see him once. Congratulations. Kaiser Ghidorah, I do not like Kaiser Ghidorah. Like, I do not like him. Skar King pulls Caesar into bite range. Yeah, and then he's gonna get fucked up by everything else. I don't think he's good. I think with the boosted last season, he was pretty decent. I really don't think he's that good. You don't say otherwise? Yeah, I know. But getting to the point we need E and F tier for some of these, they're doo-doo. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. They always show up in my daily and I never get them. Why are all the Ghidorahs ass? I don't know why all the Ghidorahs are ass. Someone at Toho has a vendetta against all the Ghidorahs. But the Kaiser duo overall, I don't think is very useful or strong. I think last season they had a really good run of it, but this season not so much. Especially against something like Kong or Shimo, this guy's gonna get absolutely annihilated. Godzilla 1999, fucking also garbage. I really don't like him either. I think he works best when the swarms are all over the place because he wants quick and easy kills to activate that burning. There's no swarms right now. There's someone else who's eating up swarms that's just doing it way, way, way better. He's cool. He's fun. He's not it. He's not it, my friends. He's not doing enough. He got a buff recently, and it's still... I still don't think it's good. Megalon, I like Megalon a lot. I feel like a lot of people don't like Megalon. But I think he's at least in the B tier. Like, he's easily, like, in the B tier. Like, for sure. Megalon is 3 cost. He has an anti-healing field, which doesn't really come in a ton of handy until, like, the end of the game where you can cover, like, the whole field. But you need to set it right. You need a lot of levels on him. Because his attack is fast. He puts that debuff down every time he hits. It's got a minor AoE. I think he's good. I think he's a good, cheap unit. He's pretty strong. And even at level 1, he does exactly what you need him to do. He just doesn't have the damage. If you had a lot of levels on Megalon, I think he would be pretty solid. Maybe if he had a little bit more damage. Or even maybe a bit more health. The health nullification can cancel out the Psychic Chorus effect. Yeah. He is legitimately, I think, a halfway decent character. I think a lot of people just don't give him the time of day. I like Megalon a lot in this game. I'm going to leave him in the middle of B tier. I think that's probably fair. Gamera. I like Gamera. But Gamera's kind of falling off a little bit this season. Gamera is mostly a flying counter, and there's not a whole lot of flying going around right now. He has solid stats. His health is really good. His damage is really good. You said Gamera's not better than Mecha Godzilla 21? I'll do like that. I think he's fun. I think he's all right. I really don't want to put him in the B tier. Gamera is currently, yes, still obtainable. So is Gauss. Just because no one is playing Gamera doesn't mean that he isn't getting ranked high. I don't care who plays what, because most players are terrible. Honest opinion. Me included. But there are characters that I will put high because of their utility, and people will then use them and be like, oh, you're right. Gamera kind of rules. In my opinion, Gamera's flying knockback works against it, makes him terrible against the dab, just an excuse for everyone to wail on him while he waddles. Yeah, I think that he can provide a lot to the team. I don't think he is doing a whole lot for the team. I think he's like just shy of getting knocked into B tier. I think he's like somewhere like, I mean, even like this is probably something fine, I think. He's good. There's not a whole lot for him to do right now, for him to capitalize on. He's best when the flyers are all over the place. Not a lot of flyers right now. Speaking of not a lot of flyers right now, but I think are pretty fucking good is Gauss. Now, Gauss are going to go into the low S tier. Gauss are really good. Gauss are really, really good. Their main problem right now is Kong and Shimo and Godzilla 24. Godzilla 24 is going to kill him and supercharge himself. If Kong jumps near them, he's going to knock them all down with his jump. And then Shimo with the ice, they're all kind of grouped up, so she might freeze them. However, if you pair them with like the Rainbow Mothra, Gauss are fantastic. Gauss are definitely, I think, like bottom of S. They're so good. Gauss Peak fought Ruin's G24 deck, said his biggest issue were my Gauss G24 isn't a big enough counter to mess them up. Yeah, once you get the Gauss far enough spread out, they are harder for the G24 to hit, and also depending on your levels, he might not kill them in one shot. Gauss are going to stay in the S tier, I think. They're pretty solid. They have a lot of combo potential, and for a swarm unit in this current meta, they are fantastic. They're fantastic. Another S tier. I would even say this season an S plus tier character is fucking Rainbow Mothra. Rainbow Mothra has had some kind of meteoric rise where everyone went from never investing in them to having a shit ton of Rainbow Mothra pieces. Putting the invincibility on your leader is phenomenal. Putting the invincibility on your Gauss is phenomenal. Putting the invincibility on G24, on Shimo, on Mothra, on Biollante, on anything is phenomenal. Rainbow Mothra pairs in same with Gauss and is great BKG counter. Rainbow Mothra is so good. The only thing that isn't technically really synergizing super well with Rainbow Mothra is Kong, Shinden, and Jet Jaguar. Because they already have one hit of invincibility. If you give them the invincibility from Rainbow Mothra, it counts as eating up. It's not a third hit. It counts as eating up one of both of the hits. So you have, it would basically be like if you have Kong and he has the 2 hits of invulnerability, and then you stack Rainbow Mothra on top, instead of it being like 2 hits of invulnerability and then Rainbow Mothra, it basically becomes, okay, you're giving 1 hit of the immunity, another immunity. So when you take that first hit, you lose both, and you're stuck with 1. So Rainbow Mothra rules. I'm a big fan. I was using him the other day, and he just absolutely cuts it up. I think I used him in one of my videos that I released today or yesterday. I don't even remember. I record those videos. I've been recording my videos in advance. But yeah, Rainbow Mothra's peak. Wakasabe Godzilla, I think, has kind of fallen off, but I think Wakasabe Godzilla probably has a strong case for somewhere in the mid to high A tier. His damage output is really good. He's just a bit expensive. I like him a lot. His explosion AoE thing is like halfway decent, but it's not like a game changer. He's like maybe somewhere here. I feel like he's better than Gamera. Something like that, perhaps, maybe. Waka is good. His triple hit is really strong. His like pushback explosion is good. But it is what it is. He's not like super insane. At least anymore. Now, someone that I think is kind of super insane is Super Mecha-Godzilla. Super Mecha-Godzilla, even in the current meta, is so strong. He is so strong. He goes straight through Kong's shields. He's going to go through Godzilla 24. He is going to hit both the Chibis. He's going to hit all the Gauss. Oh, on the lava map? Oh, yeah. Super Mecha-Godzilla shoots down that entire lane on the lava map. He just literally points his cannons right down there and just blasts the fuck out of them. He is so good. He is one of the most underrated units in the game. I have no idea why people write him off immediately. They pull him and they're like, you know what, he's whatever. If you are not using him as a leader, try him on the field, especially in Hollow Earth. He is so good on that map. He's my preferred leader right now. His ability is so good. We're not talking about his leader, but we'll talk about that later in the week. But yeah, Super Mecha-G is phenomenal. The Hollow Earth map is like built for him specifically. Like it almost like how it feels. I like it a lot. I like him a lot. Now, another unit that, listen, I've always said this about this character. This character is only going to get better when more characters are introduced with abilities that this one counters. And that would be Tokyo Bay Godzilla. Tokyo Bay Godzilla this season is popping off. He is immune to stuns. He's immune to acid. He's immune to being pulled by Skar King. He's a huge meat shield with nice stats. He is moving up in the world. As long as there are characters that are getting added to this game that have... You think he's better than Mothra 2019? I saw an argument online for stuff like that. You know what? I put him like this. Put him up here. As long as there are units that are really good with debuffs that he is immune to, he's going to do good. Is he immune to freeze? I don't know. That's a good question. Let me open the game. I have the game open up right here. That's what the music in the back is playing from. Is he immune to freeze? Is he immune to freeze? Where is mine? Where is he? Close to the bottom. Close to the bottom. Click him. Upgrade details. Stats. I believe, yes, he is immune to freeze. It says freeze on his thing. It says status effect immunity. Stun, slow, burning acid, knockback, freeze. He is immune to freeze. It says on his stat sheet he is immune to freeze. Whether he really is or isn't, I don't know, but I have a feeling he is. So he is immune to freeze. He is immune to Shimo. He is immune to Skar King. He's just gonna get he's not immune to compel. That is correct, but he has a ton of stats. He hits really hard. He has good health. His AoE kind of sucks, that, like you said, Godzilla-thon, but who cares? He's immune to two of the best characters in the game. As long as they keep adding status effects to him that he's immune to, he's going to at least be halfway decent. And I've always said this. Now, we're going to talk about some goats. Some goats right here. 3 of my favorite units in the game. Back to back to back. Number 1. Shinden. Easily one of the best units in this season, bar none. He's just not distracting Kong. Shinden's gonna distract Godzilla 24, sets him up to die. He's gonna eat the whip from Skar King, and Skar King's gonna pull in Shinden. Who gives a shit? Because Shinden's got that other hit. Actually, I think Skar King runs through both hits, but it doesn't matter. If the enemy Skar King blows their whip on the Shinden, then that's a W for me. Shinden's going to distract Shimo, turn her ass all the way around. She's going to be too slow to really do anything about it. G24 is going to follow it all the way to the ends of the earth. It's going to distract the Chibis for a little bit, but they're going to run it down with the flames. It's going to distract the enemy Mogera. It's going to distract the enemy Mothra. 2 cost, compels everything, hauls fucking ass. Shinden is so good. He's kind of falling down, not so much, but slowly falling off. I disagree. I think Shinden is peak performing right now. The only reason why Shinden would be falling off is because of chip damage things like Mothra, like Chibi Godzilla with the flames, or Shimo with the freeze. But you can avoid that if you just play smart. Shinden fucking rules. It eats up 3 shots for you. It has the compel. I love the Shinden. I use it in my deck constantly. It's such a good cycle unit. It's just a good thing to have in a pinch to protect your leader. It's going to prevent Mogs and Kiryus from just, like, cleaning up your health bar. Phenomenal. Phenomenal, 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 phenomenal. Another phenomenal unit that is getting a little bit worse this season, I think, is Godzilla Minus One. I love Godzilla Minus One. He is so fucking good. He is so fucking good. any map with water, he's on my team. London, Tokyo, New York, it doesn't matter. He is not a push starter. He is a push ender. He just, they're in the water. It doesn't fucking matter. Drop him down, annihilate them immediately. G24, I think, outdamages him. Kong might have the shields and survive. A lot of people are using Rainbow Mothra, so his explosion is not maybe as powerful. He's only falling off a little bit because Rainbow Mothras are everywhere right now, and it's making his explosion just a little bit worse. But if you can remove that Rainbow Mothra and then hit them with this, is chef's kiss. He's also push ender in the sense he adds onto your push once it's been built. Yeah, exactly. So you have your push going, they have theirs. He spawns in, he kills out their entire push pretty much, or gets theirs just a little bit weak, or a lot of bit weakened, and then he's gonna clean them up, and then he's gonna just move with your push. Excellent character. I love Godzilla -1. He is so strong. I'm moving him down a little bit because there's just the prevalence of Rainbow Mothra is insane, and negating that explosion is terrible. That explosion is like 90% of what you want him to be doing. So mine is level 24. I used to use him pretty much every day. I haven't really used him too much this season because I've been using all the other units. I love him. I love Godzilla -1. I also love Ginza. -1 Ginza fucking rules. I love Ginza. I use Ginza all the time. I use Ginza all of the time. I'm putting him on the lower end of S tier because there are units like Kong that are going to jump on him. Skar King can pull him. The Shinden might distract him. Hollow Earth was made. It was made for Ginza. I love sticking him in the corner of Hollow Earth and just letting him pop off. And the enemy gets so pressed because they've prepared their team to go down that little tube. It doesn't fucking matter. Ginza's going to take pot shots at the leader the whole time. Even on London, I put him in the water right in front of my guy on London, and I defend him with the Chibis and Biollante and all that. Ginza is so good. He just destroys the enemy pushes. I have nothing but love for Ginza. He is a phenomenal character. He's getting his time in the sun on Hollow Earth. I cannot be happier. I love Ginza. All 3 Godzilla -1 units being in the S or S plus tiers makes me so happy. Now, Kiryu Kai Heavy Arms has a bit of a resurgence this season against particularly Godzilla, but I think he is somewhere in the top of the A tier. He gets increased damage to 7 cost units. The only one that's really super meta this season is either Earth or Godzilla 24, and you're not really seeing a lot of Earth. Hat is like right under Super Mecha-Godzilla and Dab in Fixed. Actually, Nightmare beats Skar King in Fixed. Huh. I haven't personally seen too much of him, but I do take your word seriously, of course, mathematician. We could put him like somewhere in here. I like him. I think he's fine. He shuts down a lot of pushes. I haven't had too much success with him myself. Mine is a little bit low level. I haven't seen too many really used against me, but there have been a few high level players that run him pretty religiously. So, Kiryu Kai Hat, pretty solid. And now you can see, like, we spent so much time throwing characters into the D tier and the S tier and the A tier, or the D, C, B, and A. Now we're pretty much all exclusively throwing shit into the fucking into the A tier. Or S and S plus tier, I should say. Next is Orga. Orga, I think, has an argument for somewhere in the top of A. I think he's probably one of the best tanks that we have in the game. Mathematician says he is an S. But why do you think he is an S? Because I don't see a lot of people having a ton of success with him. I think Orga is fun and he's cool. He's a huge meat shield, but for 5, I would rather have something else, I feel personally. We have Knee and Mathematician arguing for S for Orga. Orga is an S, but high A. Beats final Beats final FSG in testing very consistently. Bottom of A, good tank, but not hitting air hurts him a lot. He has no levels. I'm going to leave him in the top of A. That's why he's not seen. I mean, it's been a few months to get levels on Orga. I think if he is in the S, he's either in the low S or the top of A. I really don't think there's another spot for him because he's not really like super impactful. Just in like one, I could agree that maybe we're sleeping on him a little bit, and then in the future, if he's like meta, we'll come back to it. But when I'm thinking about like S tier characters or S plus characters, I'm thinking of characters that are like making a huge impact on your team. And every time I see Orga, I really don't think he has an incredible impact on the team that I'm facing as a whole. I think he's fine. I don't really... Orga almost as good as Baka. I don't really particularly think he is super impactful. I agree that he's the best tank that we have, I think, outside of Earth, but I wouldn't put him in S or S plus because I don't think he's as impactful as some of those characters are. Like, you're gonna tell me Orga is as impactful as Mogera? Like, there's no way. And Mogera rules. Mogera is easily like a top 3, top 5 unit. Even with comparing to Mog is unfair. Well, that's what I'm putting in the top tiers. Mogera is insane. Even with Skar Kings running around with increased damage to the 5 cost, obviously not Mog is a 5 cost, 4 cost. Even with Skar King running around, Mog putting a defense up on these lower ranked characters is going to help mitigate the damage from Skar King. I'd say Orga is better than Bio. Bio isn't all that anymore. I don't know. I like Bio more than Orga. I don't think Orga is better than Bio. I think Bio is crazy. Yeah, he's mogging the whole battle. He's giving that defense boost to all the, 6 costs and lowers. He has phenomenal range. He's in the air for like not half the time, like 7 or 10 seconds or something like that. I love Mogera. He provides so much to the team. It's not even funny. Mog changes the meta forever. Yeah. Mog also incentivizes grouping characters up, which is where Kong excels, where he can like jump on units and stuff like that. But Mog is crazy. Mog is so insane, and he's definitely changed the way we play the game. I have nothing but love for Mogera. Mogera is great. Secondly, also a really strong character this season is Fukuoka. Space Godzilla. Fukuoka Space Godzilla is insane. Fukuoka Space Godzilla's crystals are going to trip up the Shimo, they're going to trip up Skar King, and they're going to trip up Kong. The only thing that they're doing wrong is they are going to fuel Godzilla 24. But even if he doesn't hit both of them, and he's going to get distracted by the second one, or it's going to do damage to him, Fukuoka Space Godzilla is insane. It's one of my favorite units of all time. The stall play style is crazy on him. You can boost him with some other characters, and even if he gets close to the enemies, he has chain lightning. He can hit 3 enemies. He'll hit one, and then it's going to do like less damage to the next and less damage to the next. But he still is hitting 3 enemies with some kind of AOE. It's not really an AOE; it's a chain. He's constantly spawning the crystals, even if he's fighting with his lightning attack. He's still spawning the crystals. The crystals just take down Shinden's shields immediately, takes down Kong's shields immediately, takes down Jaguar shields immediately. What's his name with the whip chain is gonna, Skar King is gonna grab a crystal, and then it's gonna go down. He's gonna waste this crystal. Shimo's gonna turn completely around if she can't hit the second crystal. Fukuoka is so good. Fukuoka is so much fun. I love Fukuoka a lot. Next. This character's kind of getting the piss, I think, taken out of them this season. But 1,000 Year Dragon Ghidorah, I'm probably going to put in the A tier. I think they were near the middle of the S tier last season, but I think they are kind of fallen out by the wayside. You're going to make a poster for me? Oh, sick. I hope it's not a weird one. G54 Tokyo obliterates Final Wars in 1,000 Year testing. 1,000 Year is like a good concept, but as soon as everyone discovered like how to get around them, it's become a non-issue, right? You saw online, how do you beat 1,000 Year Dragon Ghidorah? He's so strong. How do you beat 1,000 Year Dragon Ghidorah? So strong. Chibi, that's it. Shinden, Mogera, it's over. Not a huge threat anymore. Gets weaker the more characters it has to fight. If they can just concentrate on one character, it's almost a lock, you know, but it's alright, it's falling off. Wakasabe Biollante. I like Wakasabe Biollante a lot, actually. I think I would maybe put her in the A tier. Somewhere like, maybe like right down here. Right, maybe above Kiryu, maybe right under Kiryu. The AoE on her is great. The acid damage on her is great. He's immune to it, but that's whatever. The acid damage is going to run straight through the Mogera shields, which is much needed. Baka is really good, better than Fuku in your opinion. Consistently beats it in testing. I mean, but is she beating the other meta characters? She's probably somewhere in here, in my opinion. And if she's not, where did I have her last season? In S? Maybe like here. We could do something like this as a good compromise. Somewhere like along here. This is kind of where I had her last season, I think. The AoE is good. The acid is good. It helps with shields. And when she dies, she does a little bit of healing for you. So you can never go wrong with a heal on death. She's doing what Fire Rodan does. But she rules. I love Wakasa Bay Biollante. Alright. Now for a true shitter. A true shitter. Destroy Dab is fucking phenomenal. Destroy Dab is so goddamn good. It's not even funny. It is not funny. Destroy Dab is so good. Destroy Dab is so good. Even in this current season. Even in this current season. Skar King throws a whip down. Doesn't matter. Dab's just gonna, as long as Dab and the person that he's fighting are not in a 1v1 confrontation, Dab is gonna nuke them. That's just it. I constantly see in my comments people like, oh, Dab sucks. I don't like Dab. He's paper thin. I don't give a fuck. He's so good. If the enemy he's fighting isn't paying attention to him, he just annihilates them. It's just over. He just cuts them up. It's immediate. It's immediately deceased. Done. If you have destroyed Dab and you got G materials, he's a fucking great character. He's so good. You throw him with the Chibis, it's great. You don't want him to do 1v1 fights. You do not want him to do 1v1 fights. That's not what he's meant for. You want him to just absolutely fucking just rip up everybody that he's facing while they're distracted. Shinden with him, great pair. Skar King with him, great pair. Final Wars Gigan, great pair. The Chibis are probably the best pair with him. And speaking of the Chibis, these motherfuckers are like unironically still like the best fucking characters in the game. They are ridiculous on like every single level. The Chibi duo is probably, with, if they're not the #1 seed in this game, they are in the top 3. No other way. They have Burn, they have Stun, they have Compel, they have Revive, they have Health Regain, they have Defense. Not Defense, but they give like the huge buff to Mecha-Gods if the other one dies. It's ridiculous. They're 4 cost. They are so good. They are one of my favorite units of all time. I love listening to them. I think they're hilarious. I think they're adorable. I love the way they like walk together. I love the way they run up to catch up with one another. They have like every fucking buff or debuff known to man. They're just absolute menaces. They stun up pretty much every character in the game. Skar King looks like he was built specifically to counter them, and even he has a difficult time doing that. They're crazy. This is power creep incarnate. The Chibis are so good. The Chibis are so fucking good. I love the Chibis. I want them to do more absolutely busted Chibi characters because I think the Chibi shit is hilarious. I like the Chibi show too. You say Chibis aren't too tough when you pair Kong and Train Bomb with them, but okay. So you're pairing Kong, the new Kong, and the Train Bomb to take down the Chibis. Chibis are 4 cost. You have now just paid, what, 6 is Kong and 7, 8, and 9. You paid 9 energy to deal with a 4 energy unit. That's pretty good in my book. If you absolutely need a unit to win, they need a nerf. Yes. You're going to do 9 energy to counter a 4 energy Chibis? That's pretty good in my book. That's Chibi's pot energy up. Speaking of someone that had potential, but I really think they've kind of fallen off, is Aqua Mothra, I really don't think Aqua Mothra is very good. Aqua Mothra, like, dies in 20 seconds, regardless of how much health that they have. If they go down in that 20 seconds, you do get 2 energy back, so they're 4 cost. They're effectively a 2 cost. They get, like, what, an 80% speed boost in water, which is going to help them catch up with pushes in, like, London and New York. Every 4th hit, they do, like, a crazy amount of percent damage boost on that 4th hit. But I haven't really seen any Aqua Mothras that I'm genuinely scared of. I have a feeling that maybe they just need some more levels, and at like level 30 or 40, Aqua Mothra is going to be able to be like a machine, because its attack speed is 1.1 seconds, which is freaking crazy. Aqua has real potential ranks similar to M92 and Fixed. I think Aqua Mothra can be stronger. I just don't see it. Like, in terms of utility, if it's not here, like, it's here. I don't see it myself. Now, I could be wrong, and everyone can just give me shit for it, but I'm not seeing it on Aqua Mothra. I will keep it 100. I will keep it 100. Aqua is the Anakin of Battle Line Prevost. I just don't also like how he goes away after, like, 20 seconds. It bothers me. But I don't think he's it right now. Maybe in the future. Listen, we can always have in the future, like, a situation with Rainbow Mothra where at first we're like, oh, they're alright, and then they come back and like, oh, they're actually pretty good. Alright. Godzilla 2002. No rented levels this season on Godzilla 2002. I think he's kind of ass. And I think his evolved form is not super great either. I think that Godzilla 2002 is, like, just alright. I think his evolved form, like, you can get some pretty nasty big hits off of with them. They don't hit air. They hit air on accident when they use their Fire Blast. The Skar King is going to stun them up. Gigan's going to stun them up. The Chibis are going to stun them up. The Shinden's not going to distract them. But yeah, you just said it best, Sparrow, Jack Sparrow, but they fell off when they ran out of levels. If he could hit air normally, he might be better. The rush is good, but, like, rush units don't generally have a whole lot of shelf life in the meta unless they get a really big boost like Leo did. I like the concept of the Godzilla 2002, and I like the concept of Godzilla 2003, but they're not very potent, especially in the meta right now. Alright, guys. First one on the list is Kong Beast Glove 2024 Kong. This might be my favorite unit of the patch. He is easily, if he is not the best unit in the game, he is fucking close. He is fucking close. The immunity that he gets when he jumps is absurd. It is absurd. He gets like 4 seconds of prep time where he's just immune to everything. And then he jumps. You can't hit him when he jumps, and you can't stop him from jumping. He lands, and he's like 1,000 fucking damage. And then outside of that, he has the 2 shields. He's in the top 3. There is no way he is not in the top 3. He is so good. He is so good. The immunity, not the two free hits that Jaguar has. He's fucking insane. Mine is level 30. Mine is rented at level 30. He basically solos entire pushes by himself. Once he locks onto a leader, he just cooks the shit out of them. He like 5 taps level 30, level 40 leaders. He's ridiculous. My level 30, I played with that Kong at rented level, 19 for a few days, and then I was like, I'm dumping all my GMATs into him. He is so good. He is so good. But the glove takes 1/10 of the leader's health every time. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. Also, he pounces on the Chibis. He'll probably end up killing one of them, if not both of them. -1 if base attacks were the nukes with the Gigan 04 jump. Yeah, his base attack is fucking crazy. The jump does a ton of damage. He's immune for like 7 fucking seconds. Like, there's just a huge portion of time where you just cannot do anything to him. And you think you can because he's running on the ground and you think, oh, now's my time to grab him. And guess what? He's just immune because he's about to pounce. And then he pounces and basically does a -1 explosion on whatever the fuck he hits. The only downside is he does not target air on purpose, but he can hit them with that jump, and that jump does a ridiculous amount of damage. So if he hits them with a jump, then that's it. I love him. He's got to be one of the best units in the game, if not the best unit in the game. I think out of the 4 units that we got for this update, I think he is the best. I think unironically he is the best character that we have gotten in this update. The next character that we are going to talk about is Godzilla Evolved 2024. Godzilla has evolved. Now, this might be a controversial take. I think he's in the bottom of C tier. I think he's dog shit. I'm just playing. I think he's probably the top of S. Or the bottom of S plus. I don't think he's as I don't think he's as hyped up as we thought he was originally. G24 ranks right above M92 and fixed testing, although cards don't apply and fixed. I think he's in the top of S tier. And everyone's gonna glaze him in the chat and give me flack for it, but I don't think he's S plus tier. He is super insane right now with the rented levels. But there are so many ways around him. Kong is completely immune to 2 hits from him, which prevents him from building up his charge. Skar King is going to stun him up and lock him down. Shinden's going to distract him. Shinden doesn't get distracted, or doesn't distract Kong. The Chibis are going to stun lock this guy. Gigan is going to grab him up. There are so many ways. To just stop him from doing everything. Do I think he'll fall off after the rented levels? Probably not. He's still probably gonna be good. But there's so many ways to just stop him from doing what he wants. If he's not on the top of S right here, then he's in like the middle or bottom of S plus, like right here. Yeah, the stun and units with damage nullification counter him too easily, so S tier seems good. The Rainbow Mothra pretty much exclusively is shutting him down. Shinden shuts him down. Rainbow Mothra puts a delay on that. The Chibis are shutting him down. Kong is shutting him down. Like, there are too many ways to get around him as a unit. We're not talking about leaders here. I like him as a leader a lot. We're not talking about leaders on this list. It's just as units. I think that there are a little bit too many ways to get around him. I think a lot of people are using rose-tinted glasses on him because he's brand new, and for like the first half of this month, he was just fucking crazy, and no one could stop him. But now with 2 weeks of playtime, just over 2 weeks of playtime with him under our belt, I don't think he's as cracked up as he was at the beginning. I think Kong is easily, far and away, the best character of this patch. Kong is genuinely immune to everything. I think G24 is really good. I think he's better as a lead, personally. I agree with you, Nee, as well. I think G24 is really good, but I think everyone is just glazing the fuck out of him because they have rented levels on him, and he's super sick, and he is really strong. He is a phenomenal character. I just think that there are too many things that we have in the S plus tier category right there that absolutely just destroy him. I haven't had a problem with him in weeks because I want you to keep this energy next time we face. No, Jaden's is good. Jaden's fucking level 30 plus Godzilla is crazy. And a lot of the monsters in this game are ridiculous with levels, but there are just too many things that you can do to prevent 24 from doing what he wants to do. He's basically a hammer. You're trying to perform surgery with a hammer with him. Next. Skar King. Skar King. This is easily an S plus character. I think Skar King is S plus. The chain hook grab is phenomenal. It has great range, and the stun is good. Pulls an enemy in to get immediately destroyed by your team. He's going to give everyone around him, regardless of what their energy is or stat lines, he's going to give everyone a 20% attack boost. So when he pulls someone in, everyone gets an attack boost. They're just going to immediately kill him. Yeah, there are a few things that like counter him. If he pulls in a Biollante, they can get some AoE out on the rest of the team. If he pulls in the Chibi Mecha-Godzilla, he's stun immune. If he grabs Kong or Jaguar, the Shinden, they're immune to it. There are a handful of decent enough counters, but he does so much to support the team in general that I think he is S+ tier. The damage boost is great. The field control is great. You know, Gigan before being able to grab someone and go to them is great, but he's bringing them to him. Field control is big. That's why Dimension Tide is an S+. That's why Gigan is an S+. He's an S+ for the same reason. Skar King is great. I think maybe he might drop off a little bit after this season because I think a lot of people probably blew their G materials on either Kong or Godzilla during the first half of the season. But I think if you held your G materials, I think Skar King is pretty good on them as well. Skar King with Rainbow Mothra is great. Skar King getting a damage boost to all the 5-cost units or lower is great. He's going to be great for the Chibis. If he grabs a Chibi Mecha-Godzilla, it's not so great, but if he grabs a Chibi Green Godzilla, then that's amazing. You've just now effectively dealt with the Chibis. He's great at countering Biollante. He's great at countering Mogera. He's great at countering Destroy Dab at Gigan 04. The 4th Angel is going to fuck him up a little bit. Is S+ arranged in order? They're all arranged in order, but it's obviously up to interpretation. You can maneuver them however you want. It's all opinion, of course. The only thing I think maybe the most lenient would be is S and S+. You probably put them in whatever order you want. Doesn't matter. But A, B, and C, and D I think are pretty set in stone. Skar King is phenomenal. That's an easy S+ character. My second favorite character from this update. Shimo. I love Shimo. I love Shimo. A lot of people don't like her, and I have no idea why, because she fucking rules. She just beats the shit out of every fucking thing in this game. Shimo is fantastic. Shimo is fantastic. If you think she's bad, you might have something wrong with you mentally. I don't know how else to describe it. Shimo is ranked above a huge amount of units in fixed testing. She is crazy. She is so good. Shimo is so good. The only thing selling her short is her range. She's going to fall off hard? Cool. She's really good right now, and we're ranking it based on the season that she's in. She's so good. And I think a lot of people are going to sleep on her after this, and a lot of people aren't going to do anything too much with her. She's great. Shimo is great. Her range is kind of bad, but her health and her damage are on par with, like, Angiras. Okay? And she does the freeze. The freeze status effect is 2% of an enemy's health, of an enemy's total health, over 5 seconds. So it's 10% total damage, and that is... you can kill with that. It's not of what they have. It is like of the total of that's how much damage you're doing. 10% damage with her on that freeze is phenomenal. Her aiming is kind of all over the place because she's trying to spread the slow out. Who has the best design of the 4-star units? I think the best gameplay design I think is probably Kong. I think Kong is just overall the best of the bunch. She's really good for... she's not really good at pushing super hard, but she will help you start a good push, like Weenie said. She can help you finish out a push. She's so good. When there's a lot of enemies around her and she's spreading that freeze and they're all constantly taking chip damage, that's really good. She almost exclusively targets air because they aren't stuck on the ice like grounded units. Yeah, she's just gonna drill into the freeze. She's gonna drill into the air units until someone becomes unfrozen. Only problem is that she retargets getting messed up by Dab and Skar King. Yeah, she can get messed up by Dab, she can get messed up by Skar King, but you don't want to put her by herself. She's a support tank. Her kit even says in it, support. She's a support unit. A lot of people expect her to be this heavy attacker because Kong is, because Godzilla is, because Scar King is. She's a support unit through and through. Sorry. Had a text. But yeah, Shimo can also mess up Dab when she's placed not being targeted. You want to play her like you play Destroy Dab, where she is not the center of attention, but she has enough room to do what she needs to do. So, guys, this is the tier list. My final thoughts on it. I love all the new units. It is getting a little past my stream time, so I will wrap it up. But if you want this image, I will actually put it in the Discord. I won't forget this time. So, this is it. I've glazed the fuck out of everyone on this list. That is what I got for you guys tonight. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.